BlizzCon 2019 kicked off with a massive boom. They jumped straight into Diablo 4, showing off the darkest horror cinematic I have ever seen from Blizzard, and it was amazing. So I've linked the trailer below for all your gut-wrenching enjoyment. In addition to this, they showed off some gameplay, had a couple panels, which is awesome considering Diablo's current place in the action RPG market. So how does Diablo 4 look? Let's talk about it. Diablo 4 will be returning to its dark and gritty roots, offering those environments of horror all built on a brand new engine. You'll be fighting the undead, demons, goatmen, and anything else you can imagine from the Diablo universe, including some new enemies like something called the Drowned. All of this will be tied into an open world made up of 5 regions with no boundaries. Fully explorable by the player, guys. No boundaries. You go wherever you want, whenever you want. But the world won't just be full of enemies, guys. You also will be able to see other players, and you'll be able to trade, ally with them, or kill them in open PvP zones. Now, PvP is an optional thing, so you have to go hostile in order to kill others. So we are looking at a shared world with other players involved that you'll be able to see and interact with to tackle dungeons, world events, and other things hidden that are just kind of tucked away within Sanctuary. But this all makes sense given how much hype was generated around Lost Ark and the fact that the Western ARPG gamers have been clamoring for something similar. The story takes place around Lilith, the daughter of Hatred, who wears a cool skin cape, so you know she's an absolute just treat. It's just very popular at parties. She appears after some bad stuff goes down and the gates to heaven are closed. Humanity is left to its own devices, so she starts some trouble within Sanctuary and we have to stop her, naturally. Outside of that, we don't really know much other than we're going to kill a whole lot of stuff along the way. Now, players will get to choose between 5 classes at the start. We know of 3, the Barbarian, the Druid, the Sorceress, and the 2 other ones haven't been revealed yet. I'm curious to see what we get. Now, we got to see some interesting gameplay with the Druid, shape-shifting into a werewolf, then into a werebear, which can happen instantly, by the way. We got to see the Sorceress flinging some ice and some fire, controlling the battlefield completely. And lastly, the Barbarian leaping and smashing into everything, which is so typical. By the way, the Barbarian can equip 4 weapons, including dual-wielding 2-hand weapons and 1-hand weapons. So speaking of the leaping, by the way, you're actually able to leap across gaps, ledges, things like that, giving movement some multi-dimensional aspects. They've also added mounts into the game due to the massive world we're going to be able to explore. And speaking of which, you can fully customize those mounts and their abilities. Mounts do have abilities. Now, the game itself is going to feature a non-linear campaign, like I mentioned, meaning you can freely explore the game as much as you would like without having to worry about the game pulling you back onto course. If you want to just go do dungeons for a while in world events, you can do that. If you want to just hang out in the tavern with other players, go for it. It's all you. This is something that I am so excited for. I've always wanted an open world Diablo to roam around in, and this looks like it could actually deliver. There will be hundreds of randomized dungeons to explore, to collect loot, kill bosses, and they said these are both going to be dark visually, like you can't see anything, and metaphorically, so, you know, like disturbing. Now let's talk about the one thing that Diablo is known for: loot. Loot in Diablo 4 features hundreds of legendaries with more to come. Gearing in the game has shifted from the unpopular set-based meta, and they're now favoring a more legendary-based meta with free-form build potential. You build the character you want with the gear that you have. No longer do you need to possess a certain set to make an impact. Now, we didn't get to see much of this, but they did mention it, which was super nice to hear. I know a lot of people are going to be really pumped to hear that as well. Now, character progression is back in full force in Diablo 4. We have talent trees, skill ranks, rune words. All of these are back and they look fantastic. You get to build out your character the way you want. You get to insert runes into your gear to specialize in something. Invest those points to make sure you're playing the way you want to. We got to see a short snippet of these during the panel, but here are some screenshots from someone who got to play the demo. So as you can see, the talent trees are here in full force. They're going to be different per class in terms of layout. So these are pretty neat. Go through, spend some points. Now, the skills shown here are the Druid ones, giving you 6 skill rows with a variety to choose from. Though we aren't sure exactly how the point system will work to unlock the skills, this is something that we have. So guys, that's the announcement. That's everything we know so far about Diablo 4. What do you guys think? Were you hyped for this? Did it fizzle out? I'm excited. I can't wait to get my hands on it, but they said this is far out and it's not coming soon, and they said not even Blizzard soon. So it looks like I'll be seeing you guys in 2022 when this thing finally hits the open air. Now, that's what I think, but I want to hear from you guys. So let's get to talk in the comment section below. Let's chat Diablo 4 and let's see what y'all think. All right, guys, this has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you next time.